The beauty of working with ink on paper is that it's very spontaneous and you can get some beautiful colour combinations happening just literally working directly on the paper without even mixing first. I've been finding that even mixing on the paper is something that's comes up with some really quite exciting results. So these little abstracts are inspired by the colours that I'm seeing here in Costa Rica, and these kind of lipstick coloured flowers and botanical shapes that I've been exploring and looking at in detail here. And some of these have turned out, you know, really nicely. I'm kind of pleased with some of those, but I wanted to also show you that a lot really don't work out. And I think what you don't see, there's this one might be even kind of croppable, but some parts are not going to work here. And you know, there are splodges that happen and things that kind of aren't usable. And you know, as one's exploring, especially when you're in a new place and kind of trying to take in a whole new visual language, and you know, what I've been looking at is these different shapes and just trying to commit them to memory through drawing lines. And also I'm getting to know and to experiment with a whole new media, which is watercolour on paper, and they really don't all work out. So while there are interesting things in some of these, you know, this one I've overworked, for example, and it's just kind of gone dead. So keeping the white space is interesting, but where it's overworked, it loses life pretty quickly. And I think it's interesting to you know, go through the mistakes because you could see where it's exciting, but where you start to lose it. And while an uncontrolled ink stain is something to work with, sometimes it, you know, it really needs to be cropped. And in fact, maybe what needs to happen now is that I even come back in and literally cut these up and use some as collage. On the landscapes, you know, it's hard to control with this. What I'm doing is wetting the paper and then coming back in straight away with, excuse the motorbike, quad bike here. I'm wetting the paper and then coming back in with line when it's a bit drier. And some of these elements I can use. It's not so bad, that one. This is kind of getting looser and looser, and in a way that's how the media is you know, working best for me. Some of these get moodier and moodier. As you know, I'm more of an acrylic and oil on canvas kind of girl, so this is a whole different paradigm to work so quickly and on a whole different media. And in a way, getting looser and looser and simpler and minimum, kind of reducing and becoming more minimal is what I'm liking. You know, sometimes I start out with these, you know, very representational drawings because the landscape's inspiring me, but that's not the kind of work I want to do. Even abstracting from that to this is more exciting to me in this more gestural approach, and even abstracting further so that it just becomes line and colour. And here you can see I haven't really connected these. So anyway, just wanted to share that, you know, really not all of these work at all. There's a lot of paper used up, but maybe with the collage I'll be able to reuse some of these pieces. I actually quite like where I'm going with these, which is, you know, quicker and quicker studies, but more emotive in a way, and it feels that these are kind of communicating much more in alignment with where I'd like to head. So I'm going to explore that further, keeping more white space as well is interesting to me. And this for me was even communicating kind of sea and land and the beach. Yeah, maybe that was even that way up now. Does it matter? These are questions. All of this is, I'm using these Canson watercolour paper. It's the XL, which carries a great deal of, the very thick, heavy pieces. It's 300 gram paper, 300 GSM, which is nice. I actually really like even heavier, but I can't seem to get that here in Costa Rica. But that's what I'm using. And yeah, there's a big fat pile. There's even others that I haven't even shown you. And I'll be putting some of these up, editing quite heavily before I put these up on my website in the coming days. You can check out, I've got a new section called my portfolio is now organised by location. So if you look in the Costa Rica section, you can see some of the other works even on canvas that I'm doing.